Good evening. I hope that you are well. So, I am Bernadette Henry, and I have a special surprise for you. I always say that every time I come, right? But indeed, it is special, okay? So, let me see if my guest is here, and then we will do the introduction. Hello, Gemini. Hello, BB. How are you? I hope that all is well. Hey, Time Back VA. How are you? I hope all is well. So, let me just see if my guest is here and I'm going to bring her in. Yes, friend. And we will get this party started. Yes, we will. So let me invite Tasha. Hey, Rebel Fit Conference, how are you? Those my peoples right there in the academy. Mommy Morebucks. There is our special guest. And then I'm going to reintroduce myself and do our housekeeping rules. Okay. So this is going to be a really, really good one. And we are going to get this party started now and quickly. Okay. I believe she's coming in the room. Culture Beast Collection. How are you? Hey, Tasha, how are ya?
Good, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Yes. So let's get this party started. My name is Bernadette Henry of Make It Fun NYC, where I make jump up and exercise as a whole more fun and exciting for anyone looking to live a healthy and active lifestyle. And the month of June is about rebuilding your life. And it's just so amazing because it goes in line with what I am doing with my life, with my brand, and everything that we have going on. Okay. This represents the shift. Okay. So this month, I wanted to talk to my woman over 40 about rebuilding your life. And we have a wonderful lineup this month that's going to cover different areas. But now we have Latasha here. So let me introduce Latasha. A woman of color have endured years of trauma and an overload of responsibility, causing them to refrain from pursuing their actual goals. They are conditioned to fear change and growth, but Mommy Morebucks is here to change that. For over a decade, Latasha has dedicated her life to fulfilling her purpose, serving as a guide for transforming a fixed mindset into a growth mindset. Latasha entered the social media scene through Instagram, where she fervently works on providing valuable and relatable content to women across the world. COVID proved to be a trying year for everyone. However, 2020 proved to be the start of a good year for her brand. Latasha managed to remain consistent and work in her purpose as she encouraged mompreneurs to push through and pour into their businesses and work in her purpose. She encouraged to push their purposes. She initiates the Blooming Growth Mindset movement. She continues to empower Black women to realize, prioritize, and recharge themselves as they heal from past experiences and go after the dreams, lifestyles they desire. And she has a quote: God gifted me with the ability to provide solutions for people's problems, whether in business or within you. The goal is to activate your insane faith, guiding you on how to use what you have to get what you want so you can bloom where you are planted. It's time to take your journey with Mommy Morebucks, okay? And on a personal level, I have known Latasha, aka Mommy Morebucks. You may hear both names interchangeably. I've known her since about junior high school. So it's been many years, okay? And I have watched her do her thing. She is a wife. She is a mom of three. She started her business several years ago. I worked with her as a client. Yes, she's my friend, but I also work with her as a coach, and she has provided tremendous value, right? So take that as a lesson. Just because someone is your friend doesn't mean you can't be in a coaching relationship, and you honor that boundary, okay? Because I have done it with several of my friends, okay? So Latasha, before we get into it, you can give an introduction of yourself.
Well, hello, everybody. I'm Latasha, also known as Mommy Morebucks and Mindset Movement. And what I do is I empower Black women to realize, prioritize, and recharge themselves so they can go on to live that life that they have been desiring. A lot of us have these dream lifestyles that we want, but we have not done the healing and insurance. So that's what I work with people to help them with my Blooming Growth Mindset experience.
Awesome. So today we're talking about rebuilding your life, and today we're specifically focusing on the mindset, because at the end of the day, mindset is everything. I know sometimes, even for me personally speaking, I used to find mindset boring. So I would join these programs and courses, and they will always begin with mindset. And I used to say, why we got to do this? Oh my gosh, this is so boring. I want no parts of it, right? But even in my own transformation and revolution within the last 2 years, it's the mindset that's really going to pull you through and keep you going when yourself wants to be like, okay, I can't do this, I won't do this, and you'll find every single excuse in the world why you can't do it. But mindset is everything, right? So turning 40 could be a big deal, and in fact, it is. And it could be the beginning of your best decade yet. Usually your career may be good. You may know what you want out of life. And at this time, you hit a peak of confidence, right? You've spent most of your life and perhaps all of your life, like if you're in this space, uh, doing good for your spouse, raising your kids, and really putting everyone else before yourself, right? You did all the right things, right? According to society, you went to school, you got an education, you probably went to school and got more education. And in the midst of some of these things, you're not happy, right? But yet still, this is supposed to be like the turn of the century for your life, right? But now in these days and states with technology and the amount of people that's self-educating, people are now starting to take this non-traditional route towards in their lives, right? But you know, even with all of these tools and things that we have, and you're seeing your friends do it, or you're seeing random people on the internet doing it, and now you're at that point where you're like, well, I want to do this too, but now these things that you, and this is where we're going to bring in, you know, Latasha to talk about this mindset, you know, in the midst of, you know, these things and just watching everyone, you're like, I want to do it, but there's some things I got to get over, right? So, Latasha, please talk to us about this blooming growth mindset.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, the blooming growth mindset, I came up with this idea in the beginning of this year, and it literally woke me up out of my sleep. Like, it was 2:30 in the morning, and I got up and I was like, oh my God, I have to write this down. And I felt like Sam Witwicky and Transformers when he started writing all of the symbols and stuff all over the room. I'm sorry, hold on. Yes.
It's okay. We all got the kids. You're probably gonna hear my kid coming, so it's okay.
I know, and everybody knows it's supposed to be my time. It's okay. Yeah, like I said, we understand we all. So yeah, I got up, I wrote everything down, and I was just like, I have got to grow it. And that day, that was like a Saturday or a Sunday. When Monday came, I said, I'm gonna create one. It's the mindset for me, because I realized that the blooming growth mindset is the mindset for me, and I can turn this into a movement. So with the blooming growth mindset, like I said earlier, there are 3 key things. I help Black women to realize that they need to accept where they are right now. A lot of us don't want to accept where we are right now. We want to see what we're supposed to be. Oh, well, I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna be a millionaire. I'm gonna have this big house. I'm gonna have this home. I'm gonna have all of this stuff. But you have to have steps to get there. If you don't accept where you are right now, you can't change the things that are holding you back. So you're gonna remain stuck. So I help people to do that. And then after you realize what you need to accept, then we start to prioritize things in your life. You are the main thing you need to prioritize. A lot of Black women have been in these situations where we've been raising kids since we were kids. We've been latchkey kids, being independent, coming home by ourselves. We're the only child. We are taking care of neighbors' kids. We are all doing something for somebody else, taking care of elderly family members, disabled family members, because people are just like, well, that's what she's supposed to do. Always the girl, but the boy will go and have the free. So I just realized in my environment growing up, I said a lot of girls around me weren't like that. And then guess what happens? You was up there taking care of everybody. So now when you get old enough, you're in a relationship. Now you're in a relationship with 12, 14 years old. And you are constantly in this cycle of being in a relationship. But you don't even know who you are. Right. So how can you be in a relationship and give somebody your best when you don't even know what your best is? You have no idea who you are. So now here you are in a relationship for 20 years, but you're only about 30, 35 years old. You've never had a break for yourself. You probably never went on any trips or anything with your family, or not with your family, with your friends, because you want to make sure that your partner is okay. You know, so you feel guilty when you want to take time for yourself. That is leading to you having your baby. You don't want to leave a baby. You want to wait till they get home. Everybody else who is living their life in front, and you start to get, you know, you feel like I thought that my time would come eventually, but now I'm about to be 40 and I haven't done anything. Where's my time? What can I do? Y'all moms on here, y'all hit me with a 7 in the chat and y'all can. Have you ever been to the store? You go for you. Right? Even if it's to pick up a pair of underwear, you feel so guilty. You're trying to find the cheapest pair. You're trying to figure out all the ways that you don't need to get this. But guess what? Oh, well, I know the boys like this. I know my boys like you want to pick up $20, $30 worth of stuff for them, and you still need to try to get it.
Right.
We are all guilty of that, you know. So I want to work on people with prioritizing themselves, Black women especially, because I know how we do. I am you, you know. And then last but not least, I work to help you recharge. You have to learn certain things so you can get to charge. You know, we are like batteries too. Get straight back up everything. Yeah, I understand. But the recharge part is just like for your phone. The same type of energy you got when your phone is getting ready to die, you're trying to find a charge and find an outlet. Have that same energy for you, please.
Amen.
You ready to borrow from people? Can I sit right here? If somebody selling a charge for $5, you get them $5 to get a charge, but you will let yourself burn the hell out trying to do everything for everybody. You gotta get it. You don't want to let them down. You don't want to let your husband down. You don't want to let your sister down. You don't want to let your friend down. You don't want to let the kids down. So when is your time? Okay? So those are the things that we work on because a lot of people don't know boundaries. When you have been doing so much for so many others, you just keep on taking on, taking on, and taking on. You have so much on your back. You don't understand that no is a complete sentence. So you can't do, you literally just can't do it, and that's it, and that's okay. People will be okay without you having to do everything for everybody. So that's what the Woman Growth Mindset Experience is about. You're able to talk with me. Also do it one-on-one where we go through the experiences that I curate. And in each experience, there's certain questions that I ask you so you can start to think about the women you grew up around in your life, how they influence you, how the relationships in your life have influenced you, and more importantly, if you know who you are. Because a lot of us don't. So, in a nutshell,
I absolutely love it. And you actually covered a lot of the things that we are talking about here. So now for this woman that's sitting here and they're saying to themselves, oh my gosh, I am that woman. Oh my gosh, I have to take care of these people. Oh my gosh, I have to make sure my husband is good. Oh my gosh, well, every time I go to the store, I got 3 kids. I got to buy something for each one and I can't buy nothing for myself and all of these things, right? And of course, I know that it took you some time to get used to it, right? And to be able to implement this. So what did you have to overcome in order to get to this place? And when, as an adult, did you realize that, oh, okay, these things that I went through in my past, these things, really haunted me today and they're affecting like how I am now? When was that point that you had to realize, okay, mindset is here. Oh my gosh, maybe I do have to go to therapy, or maybe I do have to work through these things?
I remember, I love my husband. He is my best friend. He's one of my best friends. And if you know him, you know he's crazy. But I remember he came into my life years back in 1996. So we got together in 2010. And at the time, my son Ty was 3 years old. And he's watched Ty grow. So he used to tell me when Ty was about 6 or 7, he said, you always yell at him. And I'm like, I'm not always yelling. I'm asking him to do something. He's just not doing it. You know, you know how us moms. He's like, no, you're yelling at him. He said, what's going to happen is your relationship with him is going to deteriorate because you're emasculating him. You're yelling at him and he can't yell back at you. So he's going to stay with her. And later on, it's going to come out in different ways. And I was like, I thought I was doing the exact opposite of that. I thought because I was a mom that was always there, because my mother was always there, I was doing the right thing. But I just had so much on me. And from having such a short period of being a single mother, I couldn't let that go. And that's something that a lot of us deal with too. If you've ever been a single mother, you don't ever forget that. It's like war. And you're always living with PTSD. So when you have that good man come in, you can want to scare them away because you're like, my child and my kids. And, you know, and you're still living like you're on your own. So I was grateful that he checked to me and was like, you need to fix that, because I didn't want to mess up my relationship with my son. I want him to come to me and talk to me about anything. I don't want to be a good mom. And I realized that in being a good mom, it definitely takes a village. Sometimes somebody has to come to you and tell you the right gut truth about something that you're doing that's not right. you know?
Right.
So that's when I started like getting on the journey of, well, who am I? Am I mean to everybody? I thought I was nice. But then I realized my mom was nice to everybody, but not nice to me. And I didn't realize I picked up those things and I didn't like it. So that's why I have the experience of thinking about the women that have been in your life, because you may not realize you picked up the things that you hate in them and you do it because you're trying to not do it. It's just so
Johnny?
crazy. So it's like the mindset kind of started right there with me. And then little by little, I just started realizing that I was affirming a lot of things in my life that they were happening. So that was a positive side of it, where I was like, wow, I said that I was going to give me a husband and he's going to have salt and pepper hair and he's going to be tall. And then here he comes, like, you know? So I started realizing that there was so much power in the tongue, you know? And if I said I was going to be okay in certain situations, that's what mattered.
Awesome. Okay, I'm sorry, the kids, they kind of do so right now. Now, after, you know, hold on.
Mama coming. And you can't mute this. That's the only bad part.
I can.
Instagram, you can put a mute button on here so Mama can.
No, there's a mute button there.
Oh, it is.
I think. Johnny, let him be, please. Just let him be. Let him be, please.
They just ain't put a mute button on mine. They know.
It's okay if he. Hold on one second. I'll be right back.
All right, well, while Bertha is getting up, I want to let y'all know that you can go to my content on my page. If you have not heard of me yet, check out my page. Going back for the past couple months, especially since January, I've been talking about the growth mindset. And you can see how I have like put so much content up about it. I answer those questions that Bernadette is asking already. I've been answering some of that stuff in there. And I definitely make sure that I post the things that have helped me. Like something that's really helped me with my mindset is just understanding that I have survived 100% of the things that I'm going through, sitting here talking to you today. And I want you to understand that too. A lot of times we forget that, and there's so much power in knowing that you have survived varying levels of abuse. You have survived self-doubt. You have survived thinking that you are less than. You have survived imposter syndrome, and you have survived all the haters who said you would never make it if you didn't have them in your life or they didn't have you in their corner. So you gotta keep things like that in mind. You have so much going for yourself already that you cannot allow others to say, hey, if I'm not there, you're not gonna be there. You understand? So that's another thing too. With mindset, as I started to grow and really know who I was, I realized a lot of relationships that I had in my life that were platonic or familiar, they weren't serving me. I was doing these people a favor. And I even had somebody actually tell me, you know, I always thought you did too much for people. And I'm like, so when were you gonna say something if you felt like I was doing too much and I was gonna burn out? And she was like, oh well, I didn't know how to say it to you. You
Wow.
said it.
Right.
But you was benefiting the whole time, so you didn't want to say anything. And it's like, it cut like a dagger because it's like, I said, that's like you seeing me bleed and you're not gonna tell me where I'm bleeding from because it's behind my back.
And they have a quote. I don't even know like word for word, but it's like they say people become upset when they stop benefiting from you, and that's really sad. It's really sad. People will sit there and they will ride and ride and ride as long as you don't have boundaries. But that day that you put boundaries, oh my gosh, you is the worst person in the world. That's insane, right? So now, with you going through the things that you went through and you having like this husband come into your life and say, hey, you know, just like really pinpointing the problems, how easy or difficult was it to now like really like take that in introspection and say, okay, I need to change or I need to make a change?
Well, you know, and if people who really know me, you know that is not easy.
Not easy.
Not that I always thought I was right, but I always felt like I'm a very smart person and I'm not going to make a mistake on purpose. So, you know, it's like I'm talking that my mind is thinking the wrong way and it's on purpose and I had a chance to change it. I felt so ashamed because I was like, how long have I been living the wrong way? And I didn't even realize it. How could I not realize this? How could I not realize that giving everybody whatever they wanted all the time was not good? Or how could I not realize that, you know, me thinking I had to prove myself to people first for people to accept me or give me or want to work with me, how was that not the right thing? So it took some time, But I thank God because God gave me situations.
Right.
You know, and he's like, oh, you want to help this person over here? This person asked you for one thing, you just gave them 7.
Wow.
I got you. I'm gonna take you and drag your ass. You know, and that's like what really did it for me, those situations that God put me in. And luckily I had a support system of people that was like, listen, you know you just that's why you stopped 2 months ago, you still doing it. And I was like, I have to do it all the way. Like, I like to do things all the way to the point where if I stop dealing with you, I cut you off and you're like, wow, she's gone. She just, and I had to check that because it's like, I'm still benefiting the other person. It's not benefiting me. So, it was a process. But I got to know who I was and some of that I was giving outward inward. And I started to like heal myself. So, years, and I started going to therapy in 2020 because that's when I realized like maybe I do need to talk to somebody. I didn't think I had anything to talk about, but I was like, you know, let me just do a consultation. To me talking to this to a therapist pretty much every Saturday. I will go for a walk, and I'm the type of person that gets anxious. So when I on Saturday, I would wind up walking 2 miles every Saturday while I'm talking. Just to like burn that energy out. So things like that started showing me that I was like on the right path and I really needed this.
Right. And this is kind of, you know, where I am with this journey of J.U.M.P, right? Journey of the underdog making progress. Like a lot of times we start seeing things, but it really takes time because we have to go through our processes. And this kind of like goes into the way that we start to shift, right? And the first way is creating accountability, right?
I said stop that shit you doing there. Stop. What you're talking about? Fuck is it? Go. What's it?
Think about what you're doing and see your process. Like that made a difference. And that was something that even though there were so many different layers of our relationship that we never touched because we thought we knew each other already. So, talking more and like this is great. Like, I love it even more. Like I fell in love with her even more, you know. And I want people to understand when you're in a relationship, whether it's platonic or familial or romantic, all of them are the same. They just have another part to it that the other relationships don't have. So you should be loving your friends the same way you're loving other people in your life because it makes a difference. You know, like you start building your own family. So just in like 2020 when the world shut down, and that's when I feel like I really got to see myself because God was like, oh, this is what you want this year. I'm gonna give you no excuse. You're gonna have to look in the mirror and see who you are and deal with it. If you're gonna like it or you're gonna change it.
Yep. And that was like, you know, point one, create, you know, accountability. Like, so in order to reinvent yourself, you need to lean into your story, right? Those things that make you, right? You need to, you know, look at your truth. Stop this self-defeating talk and realize that pity is not allowed. You have to take responsibility for your life, right? Because we all go through things, right? And a lot of times these things that we go through, if not dealt with, they're going to eat you alive. It doesn't matter if it's 10 years, 5 years, 2 years, 30 years, 40 years. If you don't deal with it, they're going to come back and eat you alive. Like myself, I've been through several bouts of therapy. You know, you grow, you go through things, you try to fix it, you're still living these self-harmful ways, and you just kind of keep going and growing through life. And the more that you're connected to your story, the more that you're healed, whether it's through therapy, whether it's through coaching, whether it's through whatever it is, it's not going to be easy. You have to do the work. Like there's no way of escaping that work. And until you actually do that work, there is no way of rebuilding or reinventing yourself, right? And this is why mindset is key, because you have to be strong enough to know, okay, this is what's happening. I need to go get the help. Or, okay, I need to sit here and journal this. Or, oh, I need to go do this and meditate. Or, oh, I need to exercise and take this time. Oh, I need to take 10 minutes for myself to go take a walk. I need to, mindset will help you, help you get your feelings and your emotions in check, right? Because all of this time, like we were saying before, you start to feel guilty, you start to feel unworthy, your esteem is shot. And for some people, it's easy to like get to a point of life and reinvent, if they've had it a certain way. But I'm sure even the people that's had a certain way still had to go through things, right? Like nobody at all, whoever you are, whether you had it or not, didn't have to go through anything to get where you are today, because you need those things in order to be a powerhouse. Like imagine if I didn't go through even the worst things that's happened to me. Imagine if I didn't go through those things, I wouldn't be here talking to you today, because life would be so like lardy-dar. Like you have to go through these struggles to get where you are. So it's either you're going to do one of two things. You're either going to let them take you down, right? And in my case, a lot of them have taken me down, right? But I was able to build back up. So they're either going to take you all the way down to the point of no return, or either you're going to do the work and go somewhere higher, right? And this is definitely where that mindset definitely comes in.
Yeah, mindset is basically you doing fitness for your brain, doing fitness for your thoughts. If you continue to think negatively, that's what you're going to be. A lot of people don't realize that, they don't understand it. They're like, oh, I'm not going to do that. Oh, it's not going to work out. You just ask for it to not work out.
Right.
The universe is going to give you what you're asking for. Universe of God, whatever you call it. They do not know. Like the universe doesn't know if it's good or bad for you. They just know that you're asking for it. So if you constantly ask to get your ass whipped in relationships, you're gonna grab it. You're gonna have those people gravitate to you. It's gonna whip your ass.
Right.
Like, and I want y'all to drop the 7 in the chat for me if y'all are still dealing with like childhood trauma. A lot of us are still dealing with childhood trauma because we were supposed to be seen, not heard. When something happened, especially if it was a family member or something, how you gonna tell anybody when they're telling you to shut up? They're telling you to tell your parent or somebody else you're gonna get in trouble. There's big face, So a lot of us are still living at the age of 4 up to like maybe 11, 12 years old. Right. And now we're adults with kids that we gotta take care of, and then we're so scared that something's gonna happen to the kid, so we wind up stunting them. Right. Has to stop somewhere. That's what breaking generational curses is about. That's what I say. You got to realize and accept where you are. Realize and accept that you were molested. Realize and accept that you were supposed to go away to school, but you hurt yourself. So when you were broken foot, you couldn't go play football. Like you just have to accept that happened and let it go. Yep. And find people out there on social media that inspire you. This is one of the easiest times to become a brand, because you can just literally Google whatever you want to look up and you'll see other people doing for it. And you just put your stamp on it, put your little information on it, and make it yours. There are plenty of people out here speaking mindsets, but I also understood that nobody was doing it the way I was doing it. So I don't let people, yes, right, people are trapped in fear and they're here. It's so true. I don't look at other people that's doing it and be like, oh, they doing this, I can't do it. No, I know that I speak a certain way. I may cuss a little bit. I'm very relatable. I think a little deeper, and I have this gift of when I meet people, I can tell them what's wrong. I can tell you, I see what's wrong with you. I see that you and your mother didn't have a good relationship, and this is why this is happening to you. And you'll be like, how do you know that? It's just a gift from God, literally, So I'm not going to stop my purpose and my hustle because I'm scared. I'd rather be scared of being broke. I'm scared of the time that I only had $2 in my house to get my son some juice, and I literally had to scrape that off the floor. And that's mindset, because I said from that day, I still remember that. I said, anytime your ass gets tired and you think you're not going to do something, remember that you had to scoop around that house for $2 to get yourself some juice until you got paid 2 days from now. Wow. Do not ever be in that situation again, because that was my goal. I didn't plan right, but nobody taught me how to plan. Nobody taught me finances. Nobody taught me how to open up to somebody and say, hey, I need your help right now. It's just me, and I'm trying to take care of my kid. Everything was always last minute, and then you get mad at other people and defensive because they're not moving the way you want them to move. Right. I don't want to be like that. It's so much easier, like you said, to lead into your story. Somebody else might be hearing this too, and they might be like, you know what, she's absolutely right. Let me stop doing that.
Yep. And the only way that you can share that story is when you work through that story. You cannot sit there and try to walk through or even sit here in vain and talk about it if you yourself haven't worked through it. Because now you're just kind of bringing a pity party to yourself. Not to say that we're not always in constant state of change and evolution, but like if you're like right there at that beginning stage where you have not done anything at all, like don't get on and tell your story, because it's like, for what? Do you want attention, or are you doing this to help, right?
And the thing is, you don't have the confidence. So
right.
When you tell the story and somebody could have said something in the chat that was disrespectful if they wanted to. It's their opinion. And that's how I take, like, that's your opinion. You can say I wasn't a good mother, whatever you want to say, but I lived the life. And I know my son is 14 in the room right now. He's fine. So, you have to be ready for all of that. You have to be ready to say it out loud and hear it yourself. Like, damn, I was ill prepared. I had to rethink life at that point and say, I gotta start putting $50 away every week in the bank so that way this won't happen anymore, And one thing I wanted to bring up too is that the people that are listening to this, watching it, whoever you watch that replay or whatever, you gotta remember, you don't want to live on the street of regret. It's a lot that y'all will be talking about in 2050. You'll be like, oh, in 2020, if it wasn't for the pandemic, I would have been big. And people are gonna be like, oh, 30 years ago, pandemic. So you have 30 years after the pandemic to still do something and you didn't.
Right. Right. So so number one, we talked about creating accountability, right? Number two, become a self-learner. Like, and this is not to take anything away from school or anything like that, right? But there's so many more ways and so many more routes to learn than the traditional, like, go to school, go to college, get a good job, and get this career, right? You have now that, which we didn't have years ago, we got Google, we have YouTube, we have master classes, we have podcasts, we have like Udemy, we have all these online courses. There's so many opportunities for you to learn. And matter of fact, of course, where you need to get the appropriate licenses, do so. But in fact, if you study something for a whole year, you can become an expert, right? So it's like there are no excuses. If you want to rebuild your life, if you want to change your life, if you want to say, hey, look, I do this kind of work, I don't want to do it. Why am I even doing this, right? Like, you have that opportunity to say, okay, you know what? Let me do something different. And in order for you to do that, yes, number one, you have to have that mindset that will give you the confidence to say, oh, forget what everybody else is saying. This is now what I want to do. Because if you're stuck, right, you're going to look at, what you want to do. And then you're going to talk to like 3 or 4 people here, and they're going to like deter you. And then you're just going to be like, oh, never mind. Let me just stay unhappy until I retire at 65 so I can collect my SSI check. No, you have options, right? The education is out there for you. It's just really up to you, to take it, right? And number 3 is experimentation. Like, you have to get out there and try. A lot of us that's out here doing our thing, we have to work at it for many years. Like, many years. It's not something that's going to happen for you like overnight. And I just wrote down a few people here who reinvented their lives after 40. So we have Samuel L. Jackson, right? He was doing little movies here, little movies there, little movies there. But it wasn't until the age of 46 that he got like a big role after he beat a drug addiction, right? He reinvented himself. Martha Stewart, she worked in catering. And I guess she didn't like it after a while, and she started creating cookbooks after the age of 40, right? Ronald Reagan, he was an actor. I didn't even know he was an actor before he got into politics. Like, these people reinvented themselves. Jada Pinkett Smith, like, she was an actress. She probably did the modeling. I didn't even realize she was in a rock band until her daughter did the Mother's Day special. It didn't work out, but guess what? She continued to reinvent herself. And now what is she doing? Red Table Talk. Say what y'all want, but she is reinventing herself and making herself who she wants to be. Vera Wang, she before making clothes and becoming a designer, she was a figure skater and a journalist. And then after 40, she became famous for design. So it's like, what is your excuse? Like, if you really want to do something, you just get out there and do it.
That's it. Point blank period. You know, you name some good people. What I like to think about too when it comes to mindset is people who had every reason to give up, but they did. And that's when I say that that insane faith was activated. You can think of every reason to give up, but if you can think of that one piece of hope that you can hang on to, which is, I just don't want to give up on me.
Right.
I don't know if you remember back in the day in 1990, I think it was 94, but y'all can Google it. 𝙁𝙤 P clones held a celebrity basketball tournament with Heavy D in New York at City College. They did not play well. They had the cops and everything there for, you know, security and all of that. But so many people came. They thought they weren't going to be able to get in, so they had closed the doors. The people were pushing against the door so hard that they stampeded some people, and people died. That was something that was on the front page of the paper. That was the first time I ever heard of Diddy. Wow. I thought his life was over. Everybody was like, that's it, he's going to jail. Never happened. But after that, Bad Boy came out. Wow. He has reinvented himself several times. He's got his Ciroc or whatever he's drinking. He's got Revolt. He's got a lot of stuff. So he could have given up. He could have said, this is it. People died on my watch. Right. It wasn't. He did the best he could at that time by experimenting and trying. He just didn't expect that many people would come out. So I like to tell that story to let people know, like, it's people trying stuff all the time. We don't know what's going to happen. Right. You know, at the end of the day, if you come with your best foot forward and you're literally a good person, people can forgive the mistakes. People can forgive things that don't go right. And that's what people need to pour into themselves as if they're going to be a brand and they want to have a growth mindset. You've got to understand that you are going to make mistakes. Mistakes are lessons and experiences, and they come with the territory. Don't go out there and do something for the money. And don't go out there and do something you're not gonna make a mistake. Right. If you go in these two things, everyone's gonna jack. Right. And even if you're sitting here like, you know, but these people have such big names and blah, 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 and what can I learn? And they got money. Like, you're looking at all these things and now you're in the state of comparison. So if you want to sit here and bring it back home, like, me, I never imagined, like, I call myself a little girl from the Bronx, right? I never imagined that this little girl from the Bronx would grow up and that jumping rope would be a thing. Like, I never imagined I would be on TV. I would be in newspapers. I would be on magazine. I never imagined. I never in my life imagined that, right? And then Latasha, I was there from the beginnings of her business. She probably never imagined that this is what she was going to be doing. So if you want to see people that you know, that you like, that you trust, like, you just have to go out there and do it, you know. And I had like an amazing testimonial, like, just being here in this online space. I decided to go take a trip, you know, to North Carolina with my family. And in a week's notice, I put up a post, or I put up a link to my website, and I said, hey, I'm going to be teaching at this park in North Carolina. Here's the link to register, right? So like for the first 2 days, only like maybe one person had registered. And then as time was going, people was registering. And even somebody had registered the morning of, I didn't even realize. And so, you know, I saw the person, I was like, oh my gosh, she was like my Instagram friend since like for over 5 years, right? And it was amazing that 6 people came out. 6 people. And one of the funny things about it is that one of the people that came out, when I gave my mom the link, because my mom lives out there, like, her supervisor was like, this is your daughter? She's like, oh my God, like, I've been following her for years in a Facebook group. And I said, Mom, this world, and my mother, she like then opened her eyes and was just like, you know, it kind of became a little bit real, because like this world it's so big, yet it's so small. Yeah, I've been in Texas. It's so, this world is so big, but it's so, like, my mother was like, because her supervisor, she was like so starstruck. She was like, oh my God, I can't believe it. It's your daughter. That's your daughter. Like, she was so, you know, when you're here online, yes, it may look like it may look like, okay, you may sit and look at the numbers and say, oh my gosh, my post am not getting these much likes and comments and shares, or I may not have all of these followers. But guess what? People, I said in a week's notice, I said, I'm coming to North Carolina. Here's the link. 2 of the people drove over an hour to come to this class, and they paid for the class. You know, so that really goes to show you
that if you do things right and you're consistent, your tribe is there. No matter through the mistake, through the spelling error, through if you messed up an order, your tribe is going to be there. They're going to understand. And it's just up to you to just keep evolving. And that comes with what? The mindset.
I think the best thing that I've heard that really got me started and made 2020 great for me was stop worrying about if you get 100 people. If you got one person, treat that one person like gold, and everybody else that comes, you're just gonna repeat the same thing. Right. That's so much easier than getting 100 people and trying to wrangle them in like a herd of wet cats. Right. You know, so I got one person. It was one person that just like stuck in it. Anytime I was selling anything, they was always buying. They were always excited. And I was like, whoa, you know, like, no, you wanted at least one person to be grateful. And being grateful for that person after the tribe of people where we just had a retreat. This is the shirt that we had from the retreat. It's the mindset for me.
Yes.
We had the Bloom and Growth Mindset Retreat back in April. I had 9 women there. We had a chef. I hired a chef to come. He cooked all the food. Wow. He cleaned up. He fed us. He set everything up. He cleaned up to leave and everything. We didn't have to do anything. He even brought his own like cookware. Wow. Then I also had a photographer come, so the ladies was able to have a photo shoot because in being in business, you want to have the pictures. The photo shoot came out amazing. I did a virtual offering for them there as well. So they had a virtual workshop with Bernie that was a part of. And then we also did another one. That's my first time to do the Bloom and Growth Mindset experience with them. And it was amazing, but they were like, when's the next? So I'm planning for next year, but I want to be able to like go somewhere. So, you know, as we get closer to it, I definitely will give the information out. But I started from, like Bernadette said, my name is Tasha Snell and Associates. I used to say that. I was like, I sound like a lawyer. But I wanted to help people. And it was just like, you can't just help them. You got to figure out a way to put some money on this. You got a family to take care of. Like, if you're not going to do it for yourself, do it for the people around you until you can do it for yourself, okay? You will be amazed at how strong you can be and the things you can come up with and the things that God will bless you with because you're moving forward with a good heart and you really, really want to do it. Oh, thank you. So just keep that in mind, please. Like Bernadette said, it's all about mindset. Keep your mindset going and it will get you to such great heights. You just gotta believe in yourself.
Amen. Like I said, mindset is very, very important. So Latasha, this was amazing. Do you have any like freebies, any upcoming programs, telephone calls? Let the people know, please.
Yes. Well, y'all can click the link in my bio. On Saturday, I'm doing a big announcement for my website. It's getting relaunched, and I just saw it last night. And wonderfully made sites is so amazing. I can't wait for it to be out. But if you want the freebies before then, because you're watching the live or the replays, just DM me the word mindset, and I will send them to you from my personal email address. 2 freebies. One can help you with time management, and the other one is with affirmations and a workbook because we need that. Those are the 2 things that can really get you started on thinking about your mindset. I'm also having a June 27th workshop. It is a virtual interactive workshop for the Bloom and Growth Mindset experience. Like I was saying earlier, we'll go through those questions and we'll really like pull some stuff out. And the good thing about what I do, I understand that it can be very emotional to remove this stuff that it's like really, you know, inside of you. I will have a therapist here. So you will get a referral to a therapist. It's complimentary. It's included in your ticket. So you don't have to worry about paying to see her, but you can have a one-on-one consultation with her. So you can see if she can help you. If she's not the one that can help you, she can refer you to the type of therapy you will need so you can continue to grow in your journey. So that's June 27th, and that ticket link is in my bio. So if you click the link in my bio, that information is there. You can sign up to text me. You can sign up for my email list. You can sign up to get a shirt. I have the shirts there as well as on the website. And I said just tune into my page. If you want to know anything about the Bloom and Growth mindset or just mindset in general, I share a lot all the time. I share literally what comes to my head. I even do the, hey, how you doing? I do the reels that comes to my head that have to do with mindset. I'm coming out with some things now that in the past couple of days I've just been like, oh, I got it. So y'all just stay tuned to my page. If y'all have any questions, y'all can DM me. You can write on the post and tag me. I always check. Because without y'all, this cannot continue to grow. So I just share all the love.
Always need people. Now, anybody that's watching, if you have any questions before we leave, there's a question box at the bottom right of the screen. Be sure to put your questions there as soon as possible. Also, if you are following either myself or Latasha, you can click the little arrow that's pointing down, and you'll be able to see both our names, and you can just kind of click follow if you'd like to do that, right? And you can see everything in the link of her bio is laid out pretty good, right? So you have an array of things to choose from. So definitely check it out. But mindset is very, very key if you want to begin to rebuild your life. Very important.
Imagine being able to go through your life without peace.
Right.
Like you cannot put a price tag on the amount of peace that you will get when you get your mindset together. The things that used to bother you won't bother you anymore.
Amen.
I'm proud to live in New York, and you get frustrated and tired because this person walked in front of you and slammed the door. It won't even bother you because you don't realize that person got some shit going on with them anyway. Right. You can let go of so many things, and that's what I want people to understand. This Mommy Morals is greater than me. If it was up to me, Mommy Morals would have been done a long time ago, because it's very tiring to talk this way and drink, like literally like pull aside people like an exorcism. But God gives me a way to recharge, thankfully, through my family and through just my creativity. I'm able to just continue to come up with different ways to be able to reach people and get them to understand this is what God wants for you. You're on this earth at this time for a reason. You could have been born in it.
Amen.
You wasn't born in slavery.
Amen.
You wasn't born 1,000 years from now. You're born at this time, and you have a purpose in you that you need to let out, because when you don't let it out, you're allowing other people to suffer because you're scared.
Amen.
And I cannot not allow myself to live in fear and know that there are Black women out there that can benefit from me being able to give them a voice, give them a safe space, and give them a chance to finally bloom where they're planted.
Right. Because at the end of the day, we're never going to get away from the stresses of life at all. Okay. So you might as well get your whole mindset life together so that you can get through more easy, right? So
find tribe that understands, what you're going through. Mm-hmm. That's part about the group of women that I have right now. You can come in there and you can talk about whatever's going on with you, and you're gonna be like, you all that story, and guess what? We all know how to be non-judgmental, just listen and give that shoulder or to give that ear and let you know you are seen here. That's my biggest thing. I want you to be seen in the circle that you're in. So whatever it is that you're going through, you can let that go and pick up something. It's time for you to really enjoy life. That's the main thing.
Yep. Accountability, support, and community. All important. You don't realize, who you are. It's like if nobody knows what you're doing or trying to do, you're going to be a private failure, because you're going to sit here, you're going to go through these things. Nobody even knows what you're trying to accomplish. Something's going to come up. You're going to you may, have a day or two, but then that day or two are going to turn into weeks and months and years, just because you didn't have this person that you can lean on. Because guess what? Most of us are going through the same thing. We are going, so you have to have that place where you can say, hey, look, this is what I'm looking to do. And hey, look, just check on me from time to time, and then when you have that support of the community, you can sit there and you have a group, you have that tribe that got your back no matter what. So support, and especially in this age and this day that we're going through, because some of us have gone through some things and still trying to work through it, and still have the mommy life, the wife life, the entrepreneur life. Some of us are still in school, the job, all these many hats, and still going through a pandemic. So many hats that we wear. How are you going to even make it without a community? You have to have people.
Yes, and after you have your community, one thing I want people to understand is you have to be consistent.
Amen.
You have to show up. They've made it so easy now. You can just schedule stuff to come up. You don't have to be with your phone in your hand every day. I got something up. You can schedule stuff out, start on Sunday and schedule stuff out till Saturday. There's no excuse why you don't have at least one post on every day on your page, if that's what you want to do. Now, if you don't want to do that, that's a different story. But don't come on here wasting people's time and then being upset with your page is not growing. I've watched Bernadette's page grow from a few hundred So I didn't realize today you almost 30,000 people. Congratulations.
Thank you.
But you know what? 5 times a day, it comes up, LaTasha for you, or Mommy Moments for you. Jump rope, women, 40. I'm like, I'm running to the coach thinking, dang, let me get on the screen and get my act together. So, but you don't play. Like, I'm so proud of you because I know you came from having an idea that you kind of was going to work with to really sticking with that idea until you came to Jump. And I know the world needs Jump.
Oh yes, oh yeah, that program is finally coming out by the end of the month. I'm so happy about it.
Yes, I'm so excited.
Yeah. So, well, thank you so much. Does anybody have any questions before we go? But I definitely thank you for being here. And, you know, if you are here and you're questioning yourself, like, question no more, right? You have the support here. Like I said, mindset is everything. So please go to LaTasha's page, Mommy More Bucks, and really look through the resources that she has there, because it'll help you out. Okay. She has a Facebook group and everything. So definitely, you know, check her out. Also check out the resources here. I'm more of the physical, mental, and emotional wellness, you know, for moms over 40. So you just have no excuses. You have support, you have community, and you know, we're here for you. So go out and be great.
Yes, thank you so much. And I forgot to mention, I did start a membership community effective June 1st. So what I do with that is I meet people in the DMV, which is the DC, Maryland, Virginia area. We meet up and we go to Black-owned businesses to have lunch or cocktails, whatever. We fellowship and network there. I put you on to connections that I may have where you're like, well, I want to work with this person. I might know them or know 1 or 2 people away from them. So I'm always like a degree away from somebody. And I make things happen. People tell you that. Right. So, you know, this community is all about teaching you the things that you need to know, like stuff that I learned last year. I can show you what I learned in the last year. So you're going to always be moving forward, you know? And then we have people come in that are experts. They're able to talk to us. And you touched on this. I want people to understand, yes, you can become an expert, but don't get stuck in the role of being the enthusiast. When you like to talk about something, you're excited about it. When somebody asks you a question, you don't know how it's going to do it. Right. That's like Bernadette said, be a lifetime learner. Every day you should be learning something new. It makes a big difference in your life. Yep.
Well, take that same subject and just learn it from all angles, or just go the easy route or go the easier route and go get a coach, you know, go get a coach, go pay for a course or a program. Like, that's the only way you're going to get, you know, where you want to go faster. Because I do it. I've been doing it for years, you know, and it just, I wouldn't have gotten as far as I am without getting that support and the help. So definitely very important.
Totally understand. Thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome, and thank you.
All right, have a good
All right, bye everybody. Oh, thank you. I am here. Bye, y'all. I'm gonna have to definitely edit this one. Ugh.